Everything you want in life, I believe, is right outside your comfort zone.
Author Eric Johnson, The Switch Within. Author Eric Johnson, The Switch Within. Sunday Night Live.
I'm writing this book to be your motivator for the day. I'm telling you that you can get out of that comfort zone. If you are hurting, it's a perfect time. If you are angry or upset with your current situation, then it's a perfect time to make a change. Have you ever heard of being at the right place at the right time? This is it. Start dreaming again. Start seeing yourself in that new car, that new home, or that new business. Maybe you just want to start back traveling again. Do it. Let me be the person who just nudges you right on into your destiny. I feel obligated to help. I want to help. It's my way of giving back.
There's definitely a switch inside each and every one of us.
Yeah.
So, think about the walls here.
Yeah.
Even when the lights are off, there's electricity in these walls. Even during your worst moments, there is vitality ripping through your veins. There is an electrical life force within you. And life can turn that switch off, but it's still there.
What makes a lion a lion? I'm looking because if I can find out what makes a lion, I can help you turn that switch on. Because we all have it. That switch is in all of us. It's in a high school dropout. That switch is in someone who was homeless and ate out of trash. That switch exists in all of us. And I knew if I could turn the switch on, and if I could teach you how to turn that switch on.
Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Sunday Night Live with author Eric Johnson. How y'all feeling on this Sunday? I'm feeling amazing. Had an amazing dinner from Mother's Basket. Y'all already know, 208 Northampton Road, Sweet C, right there in DeSoto. We throwing down, man, some major soul food. If you're ever in the area, just kind of think of us like the weekend store. You know, we open Thursday through Sunday. We only have the soul food on Sunday, but we talking oxtails, chicken, dressing, got the best dressing in town, yams, cabbage, all that good stuff, man. Y'all drop in the comments what you had today to eat. You know, I'm a big boy. I always want to know what my folks ate on this Sunday. Last week, we talked about liberty and justice for some. We're going to get started here in just a second, y'all. We're going to give everybody a couple seconds to get chimed in. We talked about liberty and justice for some. We took a very close look at the criminal justice system and some of the inequalities that exist in that criminal justice system. Excuse me. We talked about the police force. We talked about how Blacks are targeted 17 times more than our white counterparts just on traffic stops. Well, we talked about the courts. We talked about prosecutors. We talked about having public defenders and how there are some disparities that exist in the court system for Blacks, African Americans, people of color, if you will. We also talked about personnel within the court system, the courtroom, like the judges. And we realized that a lot of inequalities and just unfair treatment is happening to Black folk in the courtroom. We also talked about courtroom personnel. We talked about probation and parole officers. Y'all remember, if you didn't catch the episode, make sure that you go back and take a look at that episode on my YouTube channel, The Switch Within. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's free, y'all, and y'all help me touch the algorithm in a different way. This week's reading, we always say that leaders are readers. Grab you a copy of Mortgages for Dummies. Mortgages for Dummies. I always promote that buying your home will probably be one of the most expensive assets that you ever own. So what I've realized by building homes is that a lot of our people in the African-American community, in the community in general, have very little knowledge about something that lasts so long. Typically a mortgage is 15 years. You can stretch it out to 30. I heard they were working on a 40-year mortgage. So one more time, Mortgages for Dummies. Pick you up a copy of this on Amazon and you can thank me later. The Switch Within. This is my 1-year anniversary. Book started going out this week last year. And when I tell y'all we've been on fire, the book has been selling. I have it available in an ebook. We have the paperback that's shown here, and I have the audio book for anyone that doesn't like to read. I didn't know a lot of folk don't like to read. That's cool. When you're on the way to take the kids to school, you're doing your workout. Check this out. It's on Audible, The Switch Within by Eric Johnson. Hey, everybody, what's happening? Baby, I see you. Jackie Johnson, I love you. I see you. Jalen Brown, what up, cuz? Dad, Mom, well, I know y'all was in here. What's happening? Y'all ate Mother's Basket. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ken Thomas, what's up, homie? KT, the realest, man. 40-year mortgage is already here. The the plight and struggle of Black people in America. What up? What up? I see y'all out there. The brother Lorenzo Gray still making powerful moves in our community. I wanted to take 2 seconds to acknowledge a family member of mine. She was honored in Fort Worth, Inc., and that is Aisha Hamilton. I'm sorry. Let's show the wrong side. Aisha Hamilton, honored in Fort Worth, Inc., as a certified go-getter in the business of apartments. She's doing big things all over the country. And I just wanted to take a moment to salute you, Aisha Hamilton. Kinfolk, Ish, keep pushing, keep that switch within on. I love you, Baba. That's my baby. Puka, girl, you know I love you. That's my baby, y'all. She have been on me today. She made me go get some watermelon for her. I had to drive way to Brookshire's. And it's a blessing to have kids, but I tell you, it's a super blessing to have grandkids, y'all. I think I'm getting old. Our next guest is a dear, dear friend of mine. I'm not going to hold y'all tonight. I know the game is coming on, but I had to share this. And let me tell you why I picked our next guest. Because he's young, super talented, and he's a young Black executive, professional that's making some historical moves at such a young age. Would it be okay, y'all, if I showcase this brother tonight? Without further ado, y'all help me welcome author, automotive guru, and serial entrepreneur, my brother, my partner, Chris Singleton, man. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Glad to have you on tonight, man. I'm just so excited to be able to talk to you tonight and have the listeners talk to you as well, and actually hear from you, somebody that I have a lot of respect for. Before we get started, Chris, just for those that may not know you, I know a lot of people on here probably do. Let everybody know who you are and tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Well, my name is Chris Singleton. I grew up in small towns in Nacogdoches, East Texas, Longview, all of those things. And I'm just a person who's messed up a lot and, have been able to make some success out of it. So I'm thankful to be here.
Wow. And what profession are you in currently, Chris?
Right now, I'm the general manager for Park Cities Volkswagen, so I'm in the automotive industry.
Okay.
You know,
And what does a typical day look like for you? You said general manager, so.
Yeah, so the general manager is essentially the I guess the highest that you could go on the totem pole prior to ownership. So I've done a lot of things, but the typical day looks like running. I think right now I have about 65 employees, and it looks like going around being a light to everybody that you can be a light to, and making sure that you share your knowledge and expertise. But I think that one of the things that people miss is being able to learn from all of your employees. I think that
Wow.
you know, no matter what age you are, you're able to learn from a plethora of experiences from all of your staff members. So it looks like going around motivating, inspiring everybody to be great.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, you're probably gonna get on to me for this, man. But let's go back to how you and I met.
Okay.
And you said you're 37 now, Chris?
34.
34. Okay, 34 years old. And I met you when you were, I'm gonna say 19, Chris.
Yeah.
And so let me tell everybody a quick story. So I was working for a company, Toyota. I'm just gonna tell you who it was. We were out in Irving working, and we were owned by older gentleman, Mr. Shoemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Shoemaker was 82 years old. I mean, but he was a real hands-on owner, somebody that we all respected. So he told us that, you know, he was on the service road out on 183. And so he said traffic was backed up, something terrible. He had came from an earlier exit, kind of, I guess, coming from downtown Dallas towards Irving. And he said that the whole service road was backed up with traffic near the dealership. So he said he was, you know, back and kind of looking up and you know, looking around. And so he noticed that it was one of the dealership cars that had caused this traffic. So he got out of his car, walked up, and needless to say, guess who was driving one of the company vehicles that happened to be a standard shift? None other than my brother, Chris Singleton. So we named him 5-Speed at the meetings because Mr. Shoemaker, worth about $100 million at the time, 82 years old, jumped in the car, saved Chris's, you know what, we all laughed about it. Chris, do you remember that? I mean, I know you do, but.
Yeah, I definitely do. It probably was one of the more embarrassing moments of my career, and kind of how I got the nickname 5-Speed. Now, I still haven't quite learned how to drive a manual transmission, but you know,
you still don't know how to drive one. Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I ever really tried much after that. I think my first experience was fairly traumatic, so I went ahead and decided I would maybe go a different route, stick with the automatic.
Right. Well, 19 years old is when we met. I was new in the car business. You were new in the car business. I was a lot older than you, 13 years older than you to be exact. But one thing I liked about you, Chris, is that you were a go-getter.
Hmm. You
didn't know all the details at the time, but you knew that somebody else would probably help you put a folder together. You were just very, how can I say it? I mean, just driven. Somebody that was always with a customer, always making money. And so I noticed that you started selling a lot of cars. And I was just so shocked at the fact that you could be so young, yet so driven. Little did I know you had little Chris back at the house. And so that was, you know, I guess you could say that was your why at the time. But man, it pushed you to some heights that, I mean, look at you now, brother. Tell me about the time when you left Toyota out in Irving up till now. Tell me about your career over that little short, span of time.
Yeah, sure. So I left there because I got fired. And, I think that oftentimes people always want to talk about their successes, but never want to talk about some of the challenges that they had to face to get there. There's an aphorism, I believe it comes from the Marines or from the military, that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Wow.
And I think that one of the more impactful things that happened to me was I got fired. My sales manager told me, "Hey, I'm going to let you go before I let you stay here and not live up to your full potential, because I think there was a point in time where I was kind of reading my own press. I was like, hey, you know, I'm making money, I'm selling cars, I'm doing well. So I would show up late to meetings and not do some of the ancillary things that really make you successful. So after I got fired, it was a really big wake up call.
Wow.
And I was able to go to the next dealership. I didn't play with the opportunity there. I was able to get promoted into finance. I was around 20, 21 years old. And now I started to kind of actualize my dreams. So I was able to, I still had to kind of break off some of the old habits, because when you're young, you're 21 years old, you come from the hoods, and now you start making six figures at 21 years old. You spend it on a bunch of crazy stuff, and all of those things. So I think that after that, I really had to learn things like money management. I really had to learn real leadership, because oftentimes when you're thrust into management at a very early age, oftentimes the best producers don't always make the best leaders. So, after the time I became, a sales manager, after I made it out of finance, and then worked my way up to general sales manager. And then I was at a dealership in Oklahoma. Won't mention any names. But I was there. I was the new car director of sales. And there was a gentleman who told me, hey, I'm going to go ahead and change your pay plan. And, I asked why, and he said, well, you're young, you don't have a college degree. Where else are you going to go and make 200,000+? So I don't care that we just had a record month. I'm going to go ahead and cut your pay in half. And maybe some people may think that I'm crazy, but, because I didn't have a college degree, I was young. Even cutting the pay in half, I still was doing well, but I decided to go ahead and resign. So I walked away from that opportunity, and I started a sales training company from scratch. My passion was always training and developing people. I developed a skill set, and I wanted to share that with the world. So I walked away from a well over six-figure job and started with a cell phone and a laptop, and just knocked on dealerships' doors, giving free sales presentations, until somebody said that they wanted to continuously have me back to speak to their sales team. So my sales training company grew. And then I reached a point in life where I said, hey, I want to have my own dealership. And so I jumped back on the retail side of things, and I just graduated National Automobile Dealers Academy, which is kind of the most prestigious academy that you can go to. It's, many people liken it to Harvard.
Hold up.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay.
Did you just say you graduated from Dealer Academy?
Yeah.
Which means that you're about to own your own dealership in the near future. Chris, wow. Hold on. Back from the kid that had the whole traffic on 183.
Yeah.
Backed up. Mr. Shoemaker, of all people, got out of the car, drove you in. And then there was a good friend of ours, I'm gonna call him VB, fired you.
Yeah.
And I believe, Chris, that kind of ties into a switch within moment, where he fired you, and it seemed bad on the outside, but it was actually the best thing that he could have did for you. Because look at you now, man. Let's go a little deeper, Chris, if you don't mind. Tell me about some tough times along the way.
Oh man, where to begin with the tough times? I think
one or two.
It was interesting. I think that one of the more tough times was I worked for Toyota at a time when the gas pedal crisis was happening. So people were doing predatory marketing, saying, "Hey, if you trade out of that death trap, then we'll give you an extra $1,500 rebate." And so trying to sell vehicles, working for a brand in that type of economic climate, I think was challenging. And I think that, what I had to learn was perseverance, and I had to learn really how to be able to sell, not just with honesty and integrity, but be able to overcome some really major obstacles. So whereas Toyota typically sold itself, essentially, I had to learn how to overcome some of these things. So I had to be well versed in everything that was going on with the litigations, all of those things. So I think that it taught me a more granular level of sales that I hadn't really had to develop before. So that was a defining moment that was really tough from a professional perspective. I think from a personal perspective, a tough time was, when I got into the car business, but I think that also, when I got married really young and then got divorced, I think that learning how to, understanding things like emotional intelligence and understanding that just because you make a lot of money and can provide for a family, it doesn't give you the mental and emotional maturation to really be able to manage a family in a household. So when I lost that, I had to really become more grounded. Read a lot, studied a lot, started going to counseling, really tackled some of the previous traumas that had happened to me, and I didn't realize how they had affected my life. So I had to go through this mental and emotional maturation process. And I think that IQ will make you a living, but EQ, which is emotional intelligence, that'll make you a fortune. So I learned how, when I came from that situation and came out of it on top and learned those things, it helped me to be a much better leader.
Wow. Wow. Very well said. So that kind of leads me into my next thing. I mean, you're so young, Chris, so successful at a young age. If somebody was standing right on the edge of greatness, this is one of my switch within questions. Somebody's right there. I mean, their dream is right on the other side of this ledge. What advice would you give that person?
First off, I think that that's a really great question. I think that that's probably a question that's not asked enough in life. But I would tell them, don't confuse motivation for self-discipline. And self-discipline is essentially what you want to develop. Because motivation, for all intents and purposes, just means that you feel like doing it, right? And when you can't find motivation, then you have nothing to fall back on. But when you have self-discipline, and you learn to do things even when you don't feel like doing them. You learn to study. You learn to, I still learn a new vocabulary word every day, because I never want one day to end without me knowing, hey, did I get better that day? One of the most quantifiable ways to do that is, hey, I learned a new vocabulary word. I got better in some aspect. So learn self-discipline would be the best advice that I give them. And don't confuse, you feel like doing something one day, you wake up, you get up a little bit early, you got a lot of rest that night, and you feel motivated that morning. Well, motivation can dissipate and can fade. It's kind of mercurial. But when you learn self-discipline, that means that day in and day out, you practice, you get better at your craft, you perfect your craft, even when you don't feel like doing it. And self-discipline is what will take you from good to great.
Wow. Wow. Great response, Chris. Let me ask you this. So I know you've had a ton of mentors along the way. Car business, we've met a lot of people along the way. Give me a few gems that, one of your mentors dropped on you on your journey to success.
Man, there were quite a few gems. I think that some of the more prodigious things, or some of the things that stick out more than others, is, one is that the fact that sales is a bit of a numbers game. So to not just to not get so bogged down when someone tells you no, and to realize that no oftentimes means not yet, and persistence overcomes resistance. So I think perseverance is one of the biggest things that I learned.
Wow.
Also, I learned, I learned on the journey of emotional intelligence that, exactly what I said about EQ. So understanding your own emotions, having emotional awareness, also being able to understand the emotions of others, thinking about how your actions may impact other people's actions. That was something that was really profound. And the last thing I would say would be to practice empathy in life. So that'll help you in any relationship in life, and even in business, and understanding. And for time purposes, I won't break them down, but there's three levels of empathy. The first level, which is cognitive empathy, that's understanding how somebody may think a certain way, cognitive empathy. The second level is emotional empathy, understanding how someone may feel a certain way, right? That's emotional empathy. But the third and deepest level, which is what not many people get to or learn how to practice, that is empathic concern. So that is anticipating the needs of your customers, the needs of your clients, the needs of family members, loved ones, the person that you're in a relationship with. You anticipate their needs prior to them ever needing that. And because you're in a constant state of consciousness and dealing with them in empathy. So that's the third and deepest level of empathy. And that transcends your entire life, your relationships, your work relationships, and your relationships with your clients.
Wow. Wow. Definitely deep, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Like, one thing about relationships that I'd like to give the audience is sometimes we have to realize that if you're in a relationship, it's not really 50-50 like you've always heard. It's 100-100. So if I'm going to give you my all, and we're in a relationship, friends, you and I, Chris, there's been some times where I checked on you, and there's been some times that you not only checked on me, but you came and saw about me. And so, that makes for a good relationship. Sometimes people become self-absorbed and it's all about me, what can I get out of this? How can I benefit? But one thing I also promote, Chris, is servant leadership. And so by you having 65 employees, there's a time of the day where, somebody's baby's sick, somebody had a flat tire. You have to show that empathy, like you said, in advance, and I know that can be difficult, but being a servant leader like you, I'm sure you make it easy, for the guys and ladies around you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about, I don't know that it ever becomes super easy, but I agree with you 1000% about the importance of it. I think that it starts with something as simple as learning everybody's name, and small things that take you from being a good leader to being a great leader. So one of my first orders of business is all 65 employees. I can confidently say I know every one of their names in every department. I'm not the most mechanically inclined person, but all of my technicians, I know all of their names. I know at least, a little bit about their life. And most importantly, I know the difference between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is, Eric, hey, if you don't do this, I'm going to fire you. But intrinsic motivation is exactly what your book talks about, which is the switch within. Intrinsic motivation is, Eric, why do you get up in the morning? Why do you come to work? Why do you want to be a technician? And when you know those things intrinsically, then you can help them to flip on that switch within. And because you know what it is that internally motivates them. And that intrinsic motivation is them, doing what it is that they're supposed to do because they want to. So the last thing is that one of my favorite leadership quotes says that people follow a manager because they have to, but people follow a leader because they want to. So making your people want to follow you is because you're able to kind of tap into that switch within because you've learned what motivates them intrinsically.
Wow. What's next, Chris? What does the next 5 years look like for you?
Next 5 years. I think one is ownership. I'd love to own my own dealership. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I've been given. I think that ownership in life should be the ledger domain of people's goals because, that's one question that was asked me was, hey, Chris, do you know who your great grandfather is? And I said, well, of course I don't. But Sam Walton, who's the owner and founder of Walmart, his great grandkids are definitely going to know who he is because he left a legacy. And so my objective is really just to leave a legacy. And legacy isn't just what you leave for people. It's what you leave in people. So an inheritance is what you leave for people. But a legacy is what you leave in people. So I want to impact enough people's lives in enough ways that I can leave a lot of things and a lot of people that my legacy lives on.
I'm about to mail you a mic over there, boy. You got some deep trains of thought. And I mean, I guess that just explains you being 34 years old. Can I see your certificate, man? I think I saw it behind your shoulder, man. Show the people the sheepskin from Dealer Academy, folks. So you have salespeople, you have managers, you have people that are in finance, and your dealership has to select you to go to Dealers Academy. That's the NADA academy that separates those that are in ownership and those that are not. Just as simple as that. So, brother, for you to be 34, I definitely see some legacy in you. I see some generational wealth in your future. Drop a few gems on us, man, before you go. Let's just talk a little bit.
Man, I think different gems may impact different people in different ways. But I think that if I were able to tell, if I was able to tell my young self, anything, or any young people, or just people that want to be great in life, is I would say that, never stop working on yourself. I can honestly say that at least for at least an hour every single day, I do, I work on something. Either I'm reading, I'm watching podcasts such as yours, Eric, that are really inspirational, and I'm learning to be better in some aspect of my life, whether that's a better future husband, a better father, a better mentor, a better leader, a better businessman. So never stop working on yourself is what is the biggest piece of advice that I would give anybody. Never feel like you've arrived, right? No matter if you're making $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is, never feel like you've arrived. So that's probably the biggest piece. As long as you keep growing and you have self-development, then that's really, really important. And I would also say that, love those that are closest to you. I recently lost my father a couple of months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Thank you. And it was, and it's really impactful because, sometimes you feel like you have a lot of time, or, life lasts indefinitely. So those who are closest to you, it's important that you love them, that you treat them with the utmost respect, and remember that regret is the most helpless emotion. So, if you ask anyone the question, how much is one more minute with your loved one worth? Everybody says, oh, it's priceless, right? Well, the people that are still on the earth today, your closest friends, family members, people that you can love on, that 1 minute is still there, and make sure that you make it count.
Wow. I see that you have your brother, working with you. I believe you have your sister working with you as well, man. How does it feel to actually mix family and business? I know a lot of people say don't mix it, but I see that you're mixing it, and it seems to be working. Those people are, thriving around you. How did all that take place?
Well, I think that I've always had a bit of a paternal instinct towards even my older brother. And I think that being able to provide opportunities for people that you care about, there's probably no better feeling. Ownership, being able to pass something down to your kids, helping your siblings, and both of my siblings are great on their own merit, in their own right. I taught them some things, but I can't take, credit for their success. But I will share that sometimes, let's just, to keep it 100% real, Eric, there are some additional challenges that come with being Black, and trying to climb your way up the corporate ladder in today's society. Is it crippling or debilitating? At least for me, it wasn't, and that's my personal experience. So my objective is to bring on as many people that I care about, who have the qualifications, and to take that obstruction away from them, to be able to help them to climb these corporate ladders, or to be able to reach certain measures of success without some of the objections and some of the obstructions that I had along the way. And I'm just thankful to be able to provide that opportunity, for my siblings. And so it's a really good feeling when I walk in the morning and I see them, and I get to high five them, and my sister, she was a top service advisor one week. My brother was, the salesman of the month. So to see them shine and in their element is just, man, it's a great feeling.
Wow. I mean, you have everything kind of set up for this legacy deal, man. How is your son doing? I hadn't asked about him.
Yeah, no, my son is doing good. He's 15 now. It seems like when I first got into the car business, he was I seen an ad in the paper. I mean, he was a baby. And so, and I think that there's, or I think everybody can probably see that there's some challenges whenever you work a lot of hours. And Erica, maybe you've experienced that as well. And sometimes there's what's called corporate guilt. So you feel guilty for the time that you spent away from your kids if you had to spend a lot of time because you had to work a lot of hours, but they were able to get this grandiose lifestyle that maybe you would have never imagined. So I think that it's important to be able to understand what that is and to be able to kind of circumnavigate that. And I think that now I'm getting to a point in life to where I can have the proper balance.
Right. I remember times where I was working 60, 70 hours a week, and it's like my son was, 9 one day and he was 19 the next,
Yeah.
and so great point. Definitely on that, because man, life will get away from you and you won't know where the time went.
Yeah.
But I can see you at 34, just graduated Dealer Academy, rocking and rolling, just serial entrepreneur, author, so many great things. I just can't wait to talk to you at 40.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I wanted to showcase tonight, Chris, is that, being Black and being successful, it doesn't come without challenges.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of things that I've seen you go through as far as your sales training and trying to get that off the ground, got it off the ground, started going all around the world. I mean, you even brought it to our dealership, and just an amazing person, Chris. Tell the audience how you've been able to kind of go around a lot of those challenges that have posed themselves to you, not only being young, but being Black and successful.
Yeah. Well, going around those challenges, I think the first step is to be able to acknowledge and admit that there are challenges. I think I told you earlier, before we were doing the podcast, I don't agree with the people who say that, hey, being Black and being young or being Black is a death sentence in corporate America, because I'm a living testament that it's not. But I also don't believe people who say, well, hey, being Black or being young, you still have the exact same 100% uninhibited same opportunity as anybody else. So, when people would tell me, and one of the most profound things that I heard is that if it's 10 times harder to be Black and successful, then you have two choices. You can either complain about it, or you can just get 10 times better. And for me, it was about, hey, I'm going to dress better. I'm going to talk better. I'm going to be better in my job. I'm going to study my craft so monomaniacally that someone can't help but to notice that I'm such a cut above the rest that they can't help but to give me an opportunity. And that was really, really defining for me, was just that, I'm going to sleep less. I'm going to study more. I'm going to work on my craft until I'm so much better than everyone else that I can't help but to have that same opportunity. So I think that it's important for anybody who faces challenges. Women face a unique set of challenges in corporate America, not just Black women, but just women, period. Right. So I'm conscious of anybody that's marginalized, disenfranchised, whether it's because of race, religion, age, whatever, and just say, hey, there's going to be a unique set of challenges. But for me, it was just keeping my nose to the grindstone and saying, hey, I'm gonna make it happen no matter what.
Wow. Chris, man, thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your Sunday just to, visit with me and, let the viewers hear from you. You definitely blessed our spirits tonight, man, with just so much wisdom. I'm going to have to get a dictionary next time I interview you, boy, because you got some words that, look here, definitely proud of you, man. I mean, so proud of you, Chris, because you're so young. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me say that, but I want the viewers to know that you're only 34. There's somebody that's probably 14 right now who's running around in the house of one of these viewers, and they really need to see, especially during this climate. I've really been pushing, that, we need to challenge a lot of things that are affecting our youth directly. And so, I want the kids to see Chris Singleton. I want the kids to see Eric Johnson and
Yeah.
people that are really sincere and committed to the cause of making a difference, man. Thank you so much. Do you have any final words, Chris?
Well, the one thing that and Eric, I know that you wanted to kind of avoid maybe talking about you a little bit, but I would like to spend just a little bit of time and tell people that Eric is one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. I mean, throughout my life, throughout my career, since I've known him, he has been able to, say, "Hey, I'm proud of you." I mean, be as happy as I was for my accomplishments with nothing to gain from it. And I think that so many people are, saying they're only willing to congratulate you on success up to where they are in life. And then once it starts going past that or going in a different direction than that, then now they feel uncomfortable. But Eric has always, when he was selling cars and I was a manager, you still were able to just say, "Hey, I'm happy for you and I'm proud of you." So understanding that your worth doesn't come from just what type of car you drive or how much money you make or what type of watch you have on, but you were one of the first examples that I've seen in life of someone who is so self-assured that no matter if you were mopping a floor or if you were the executive of a company, you still were the same person and had the same level of confidence. And that was really impactful for me as well to be able to see that. I remember going over to, I think it was Freedom Dodge, and seeing you sell cars, but you still were a light in a dark room. And no matter what was going on around you, you still were able to be that beacon of light. So I think that deserves, you want to press that little applause button there, because that definitely deserves one of those.
Thank you so much, man, for just, recognizing me and just like I recognize you. You know what, Chris, I want to let the audience in on a little something that I hadn't told anybody. I'm in the process of trying to connect a lot of like-minded brothers, a lot of like-minded sisters that are on the same wavelength, so we can expand our community the right way, man. I just salute you so much, man, for, taking time out to, give me my flowers while I'm here.
Yeah. And
I definitely want to give you yours, man, because you are rocking, you are rolling out here on your way to ownership. You follow me? So, sometimes you got to learn how to drive a stick. You say you still don't know how to drive a stick, all the way up to owning the place. Pause. Just a 19-year-old kid when I met you, but you were a stone cold go-getter. You went to some more dealerships. You worked for, Toyota during a time where the accelerator was sticking. And I mean, nobody wanted to buy a Toyota, but you were still able to thrive. So Chris Singleton, salute, man. Salute to you so much, man. One more time, just for everything that you're doing. God bless you, brother. And I got to have you back soon, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, I look forward to it. Okay. Thanks for having me here,
Chris. All right. Thank you, brother. Well, y'all, that was Chris Singleton, man. That's my boy, man. That brother there is an amazing example of the switch within. Don't forget, y'all, this is the 1-year anniversary of the switch within. Y'all show brother some love. Go on Amazon, pick that up. I have it in an ebook. I have it in a paperback, which you just saw, and I have the audio book. If you don't like to read, I got you. I got you. Facebook, I seen y'all been down with me tonight. Willie Murphy, what up, kinfolk? I see you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Aisha Hamilton, just recognized you earlier. Salute, kinfolk. ML Brown, Pat, hey, Matt, what up? I see you. Sister-in-law, I see you. Carla Mitchell, up in him. Chris Keith, salute, King. Amy Williams, Sharonda Jones, Jackie Murphy. What up, Jackie? Another exemplary leader that is always pouring into the community and into the youth. Let's see here, man. If anybody wants to come up, if you go to the top of the chat, I got the link in there already. I tried to get technically savvy this week. Go to the top of the chat on YouTube, and you can come up if you want to drop some knowledge, you want to just hang out, had a question, you want to give your opinion, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Go to StreamYard.com. Put this in your browser, y'all. Go to StreamYard.com/BGH. CE279I5. I'm going to pin it to the screen. Put that in your browser. You can come up. You actually pop up backstage. Make sure you allow StreamYard to access your mic and your camera. And y'all come on up and talk to me. I got time tonight, man. Salute one more time, y'all, to the brother Chris Singleton. An amazing like amazing, y'all. That's the ghetto version. Amazing version of the Switch Within. Driven. No comfort zones. All boats are burned. And there is no plan B. That's Chris Singleton, y'all. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes. While we're waiting, if anybody want to come up, y'all, we got time. I just want to talk to y'all real quick about what's going on in the music industry. And it's just really hurting me so bad that a lot of the youth, I'm going to get serious real quick. A lot of the youth are being attacked subliminally, which means they don't even know it. Rappers are dying at alarming rates. It's shootings are, it doesn't have anything to do with rap, but I'm saying there's so many mass shootings. I am going to say that I believe rappers are the only people dying. That's the only genre of music where a lot of the musicians are dying, getting locked up at alarming rates. Somebody post in the chat if you know of anybody in the rock and roll genre, Tejano, pop, country, gospel, whatever, any genre of music where the artists are beefing, into it, dying over their music, getting locked up, where their lyrics are being read in court, and it's incriminating. I want to call out that particular cancer that's in our community. I want to keep that on y'all's minds. I know I'm getting older, and y'all probably think I'm square, but I have a 19-year-old son. I have a year-old son. Devil don't want me to say this. I have a 19-year-old son, 26-year-old son, and a 29-year-old. I got some young boys that I'm watching. I'm listening to them. And you know what? All the music is just talking about killing. That's all it's talking about, y'all. Y'all, please, 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 if you have children, start talking to your kids. Start talking to your kids about what's happening. And maybe y'all are oblivious to the fact, but I'm not. I see it so clear. This thing is being funded by some higher ups, and we're the only station that's talking about walking something down, which is slang for murder, stepping on something, sliding on something. And I know it's not popular, but I'm going to keep preaching this. And I might even go into a whole series here on the show where I just talk about it all the time. We have got to get in touch with our youth. And I'm not trying to slander the youth. I just want to educate them, because one more time, I don't even think they realize it. I don't even think they realize that just last night, rapper out of Atlanta, Trouble, killed. A couple weeks ago, rapper named Young Thug and Gunna, Rico case. And they are using the lyrics in the song. In the case. It's on the indictment. We under attack, y'all. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Thank you so much. I know the game is coming on. God bless y'all for tuning in on this Sunday night. Chris Singleton, you did it, man. I am so, so proud of you. Until next week, y'all be blessed.
Everything you want in life, I believe, is right outside your comfort zone.
Author Eric Johnson, The Switch Within. Author Eric Johnson, The Switch Within. Sunday Night Live.